Hello there, and today I wanted to show you my new build for Armageddon branch. I have two versions, and I probably be doing the Hierophant one that I think it's much better when we're talking about defense. You can go more deeps with which, but I think this is just better. So what's the plan here? We go Archmage and Crit. Okay, so we're using Armageddon branch, Swift branch, Concentrated Effect, Archmage, Elemental Focus, Control Destruction. You can drop Control Destruction if you don't have enough crit, but I think that's pretty okay. We're looking at some basic items here. This is not needed for the build. It's just because I'm planning on playing on hardcore, so this would be very good. And this also is not very easy to get, so I'm just putting here just to imagine how it would feel like. But main thing would be Essence Swarm, Wise Woke, Rumis Concoction, and staff that I think I can get a staff like this with Harvest pretty easy. It's not even that good. So this here is a late game thing. You don't need to have Intuitive Leap because on solo self-found it's pretty hard to have. But if you're playing on Trade League, then it's probably okay, right? So the plan here, we get as much crit, as much mana, and as much life as we can. So this crit wheel is very good. This one is very good as well. This one is kind of okay because we have crit multiplier here, and then we go straight into it here, and we get also this node. So there's nothing much to it. I'm thinking about dropping this to get cluster jewel. I have to check if it's more damage or not, but for a league starter, this seems pretty okay. So we have agnostic here, and we're still sustaining our mana, probably because of the Cloak of Defiance, and we are using Elemental Weakness here as well. So if we disable that, we can see the damage here. Arcane Cloak and Arcane Surge. The reason why I'm going with Hierophant is because we have this node. It's a lot of defense and power as well, and we don't have to deal with the golems. I don't know, because it's very annoying. But this might help because now the golems resummon themselves, so this might be pretty okay. But I want to be as defensive as possible, so I want to try this. We have elemental ailment immunity, and we also have a little bit of defense with divine guidance and mind over matter, right? So there's some things that I think I could tweak a little bit, but this is probably how I would start things, and it seems pretty okay in damage. Now the one thing that I'm thinking about is this node, right? Because it seems very good, right? It looks very appealing, but you only get a little bit of the duration. So if we put this point here just for so we can see, and we activate this, the damage goes up for 3 million, but you won't have much uptime with it. So I don't think it's worth it. I will try and I will see how it feels, but I think it's just better going this way. It's more defensive as well, so this thing is just better, right? Because if you're playing on softcore, then you can drop this and get this, but since I'm planning on playing on softcore, you can go there, and you can also get this, right? If you are sustaining power charges through curse on hit or something like that with Assassin's Mark. But since I will be relying on mean power charges, that's okay. You can also put some points here, but this is what I've come up with, right? And with items, you see that there's nothing much out of the ordinary here. It's just pretty, it's not basic, it's not budget, but it's pretty obtainable, right? And yeah, this will be the Hierophant build that I'll be using Armageddon brand with. And it looks pretty cool, and I'm sure that I can make the tree even better, but I'm just looking at how it feels, right? We also have the leveling here tree that's 3.12, but doesn't really matter, right? So my plan is just to start here and get these nodes. It's very good for early game. Then we rush straight into each, get life, and then we go elemental overload, because I don't like going crit early, especially if you're playing on hardcore with a first character. It's just better to spec into crit later. So I get elemental overload, life mana, and then I can start to put points into crit, right? So the first thing that we could do is start putting points into staff block if I'm already using a staff. If not, I can just start traveling a little more, go. But this looks very ZDPS, doesn't look very damage wise okay. We have to see, because otherwise then we just respec and start putting points into crit, right? And after we get this, then we travel, and then we travel, and then we travel, right? So yeah. Now elemental equilibrium, I'm thinking about that, if there's a way that I could proc it, because it's not giving any damage because of, I don't even know, because of, probably because it has fire and lightning damage here. So if I manage to use, I don't know, some skill with codes to proc elemental equilibrium, let's see here that if I can get like Val code snap, just for, so we can see, and then we can proc this. It doesn't even change the damage, but we'll see when I start playing with this. It's just a thing that I have in mind to use elemental equilibrium on bosses so we get more pain, right? And this, it seems very good. I'm also thinking about getting this, but it's too many points, but it is also very near from this and this, that it will make our flasks a little better. It's not even this one, but it's this one. It increase effect, reduce flask use, mana recovery from flasks. It seems decent, but I don't know if it's worth going there, because we'll see. Let's go back to the default tree here. So we have this, right? And when we get Supreme Eagle, it looks like little damage, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, right? And if we spend like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, it's even less damage. So on the way, you even get some resistance, you have access to these wheels, and this seems decent, but I'm probably not gonna use it, right? So yeah, this is the main plan. Let's take a look at the witch here very quickly. So this is the witch one. It has a little bit more damage, a little less crit, but also less life and less mana. You probably can do this just as Templar, but I find cast speed is very good for brands, so I don't like it very much. And this is the same thing. It's very bad that this gem doesn't go up here, so you can get golden. You can get another one, but then you're gonna drop some other things here, and I don't know if that's decent. But yeah, there's some things you can do here, but I feel like I'm already using much points here. It's like level 91 here. So this node is just insane. You have to get it, right? Like look at this damage. You have to get it. So in the beginning, you can just drop it if you feel like it. And this is how I'm using things. I'm not really sure if I want to go like this, because this seems defensive enough for hardcore, but this also seems very good offensive wise. So it just depends if I'm feeling squishy. But I wouldn't probably play this on hardcore anyway. So on Trade League and softcore, there's no problem playing like this. You can go even full mana and less life. You can just drop that, but that's also what some builds with Archmage usually do on softcore. They go hardcore mana and doesn't really care about that much life. But I don't know. It doesn't seem very good playing as Witch when you can just play as a Hierophant, right? So this is my tree that I'm going to follow. I'm going to be posting the build here, and yeah, I hope you liked it. If you have any suggestions or anything, you can feel free to comment, and I will leave the POB link on the description. Thank you very much, and see you later.